I said, is this thing on? Is this thing on? Is it even on? I want to thank everybody for giving me some days. I needed some days rest after my trip to Las Vegas, where I had the opportunity to meet with some potential donors. Doesn't matter if someone is donating $10, $100, $30 for a shirt. I'm willing to meet up with a group of donors. You know, anytime I get the invite, if I have to pay for it, I don't mind paying for it. We got a show today. We have a show today because it's imperative that I talk about these issues. Get them off my chest. I have to get them off of my chest. If I don't, I won't feel good about myself. So I have to make sure that I discuss these things with you. But before we do that, you know we got to do this. Please be mindful this show is for 18 years of age and older. All copyright laws will be respected, but this show is intended to use the Fair Use Act of it. Thank you very much. Please do remember that the New Right Party channel and the New Red Party show is sponsored by patriots like you. And as long as you're sending these donations, it allows me to create the content that will continue to make these motherfuckers sick. As you were.
He's on fire!
Versus the family and my family and the no sleep, flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul, Illuminati wanna take it. Versus the family and my family entertainment and it's team no sleep, flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul, Illuminati wanna take it.
CEO, bullshit, paying for the pussy, I endorse it, riding through the city, that's my off. Yeah, it's good to be in the building right now. It's good to be in the building. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I know you guys been seeing me stream the Firewall 0 Hour. You're probably like, man, we're tired of seeing you shoot people in virtual reality. I was planning on doing this show earlier today, but I haven't been feeling too good, to be honest with you. And the traveling is really just doing a little bit too much on your boy's old body. So, that's what's going on with that. Hold on 1 second. I am without. Okay, well, where are you? Okay, I'm coming, people. I'm coming. I am coming. Excuse me. Excuse my tardiness. I'm looking for something right now. What's good, Lance? I'm coming right now. We have a show, y'all. We got a show. Yeah, we got a show. And it's going to be a good show. It's going to be an excellent show. We're going to talk about some lies that's going on. We're going to talk about some lies that's going on. That's finding themselves apparent. Okay, we're going to get into some lies. Some lies is being told around here. And first I forgot why I put this watch down. I'm doing a review on this Rolex Tudor on my watch channel, Dr. Right Time. And I will be recording it after this show is completed. This show is live on my watch channel. The show is not live. The show is pre-recorded. And if you are interested in horology, if you are collecting watches, doesn't matter what watch brand you have. If you're interested in seeing some watches, if you want to get your watch reviewed on my new channel, which is also a backup channel for this channel, please make sure you go to Dr. Right Time on YouTube, subscribe, and hit me up, leave me a message. Hopefully we can get you on there so you can show off some of your watches. Okay. Let's get down to it. So recently you've seen that there was an Asian gay activist reporter who was attacked by Antifa. Now, my issue with this is where is the Lbgt community? Where is the community in defense of this reporter? I've waited because I didn't want to come out and make this video and do so prematurely, and then lo and behold, the Lbgt community is in full attack mode and they are going at Antifa. I actually wanted to wait, just give it some time, just to see where the community would go with what actually took place, and this man being assaulted on camera at that. It's not something that he's saying happened, then he's calling the police and he's pulling the noose off of his neck. That's not the case. There's actual footage of this man being assaulted and hit upside the head with blunt objects to the point where he had to be hospitalized, and he actually had, I believe, bleeding in the skull. So this is how serious it is. So I just wanted to see if they would come out in full force for this brother, and if they would stand up for him, his rights to be a journalist, his rights to be a gay journalist at that, his rights to have tolerance, from people within this country. And lo and behold, I have seen nothing, jack shit, in regards to the Lbgt community and this man being viciously assaulted and attacked in the street. So this is something that I said, let me just go ahead now and let me give him that Tony X. Remember, this show is meant to entertain you, although the topics may be serious that we discuss. Some topics may be that of questioning nature. Some people may call it conspiracy theories. Some topics may be spot on and factual, but the language utilized in this program during this segment will be done so with no regard for anyone's ears who don't like vulgar language. So if this is something that you are against, I'm not sorry that you're finding it displeasing. There are other programs and other YouTubers out there who will give you content not like this, but in their own way, hopefully addressing it, and maybe this will feed the urge that you have to find out what's going on with it. But now that we got out the way and you are here on this channel, you're going to hear fuck, shit, bitches, all type of vulgar things that may not be pleasing to your ears. And again, this is not this is Tony X. Okay? This is this is the man used to give you this delivery. This is not Congressman Anton Tucker. Okay, in no way, shape, or form does this show reflect that of Congressman Anton Tucker. It reflects his alter ego, Tony X, the guy who gives absolutely no fucks about your political correctness and or your feelings. And right now, what you have entered is, you've entered into the wolf pack zone.
Protect the sheep, you gotta catch the wolf. And it takes a wolf to catch a wolf.
Play that shit again so they can understand, please.
Protect
Thank you.
The sheep, you gotta catch the wolf. And it takes a wolf to catch a wolf.
It takes a damn wolf to catch a wolf, all right? Because we know what the fuck we smell like. What kind of wolf am I? I'm the kind of wolf you can bring home, domesticate, but will still go outside, pissed on a tree, chase me a squirrel up it, and occasionally I might have to go whoop another wolf's ass to protect your property. That's the kind of wolf I am, the loyal kind, all right? White Fang, you know what I'm talking about, okay? let's get on to the show. Now that you guys, Danya's in the building. Lance the Grumpy Fisherman. Tommy Gunn. I see you in the chat. I appreciate y'all for being in the chat. Thank you very much. Okay, let's get on. Let's get to the show. So, should I go big screen on this, or do you want to stay here in the Oval Office, or should I just go ahead and go big screen on this? Let me know right now, people. How should we do this? Should I go big screen on this, or should I just stay here inside the office? Should I go big screen? Yeah, I want to see put one up if y'all want the big screen. Put a one up if y'all want this on the big screen, and just put a two up if you want me to remain in the office. Either way, you're gonna see me, so it doesn't matter. But I can put this on the big screen if you want. That chat not moving. What's going on, chat? Chatty chat. That chat's not moving. What's up with that chat? All right, cool. We're gonna go on the big screen. We're gonna go on the big screen right now. We're gonna go live too on Instagram. So we can let everyone on Instagram know right now. So we can let everyone on Instagram know right now. If they tune in to the New Right Party channel on YouTube, you will see the live show that's happening right now. How I break down the fraudulent Lbgt community. And it's not to go at the Lbgt community, but it's just to break down how fake this whole thing is. Hey, Hoy Hoy in the building. Don't forget, y'all, Hoy Hoy will be hosting the show. So, and she will be doing so very, very soon. We're still dealing with everything and getting everything situated for her and on her end. So, I'm Hoy Hoy. You know who Hoy Hoy is. If you don't, then I've said it on the show, but she will definitely be a host on the show. For everyone that's watching on Instagram right now, Creamy Mommy, you know I love you to death. Shout out to Creamy Mommy, okay, on Instagram. It's Creamy, spelled Creamy, and then Mommy with three eyes. Please make sure you give her a follow. I'm telling you that this woman showed me so much hospitality while I was in Vegas. She wasn't even in the States. I don't know if she's back yet either, but she wasn't even in the States, and she said, I have a whole house. You take the house and you stay at the house. You know, you hold it down. You know, you relax. You don't have to worry about anything. She let me drink some coconut water that was in the refrigerator. It was good, Mommy. I appreciate that. The YouTube channel is The New Right Party. Let me type it in right now because we about to go live and we need The New Right Party. I just did a surprise live right now. So, but if you go to YouTube and type in The New Right Party right now, you'll see the whole set. You'll get to see everything for what it is. You can catch the show. Carlos Fabian is in the building right now. Shout out to Carlos Fabian in the building right now. And I definitely give shout outs. Thank you, Cheyenne. I appreciate you. Tucker 2020. Thank you. Show off my muscles real quick. What's good, Trump fan? So, yeah, everyone on Instagram right now, you're going to miss the show. You got to go to the New Right Party channel on YouTube. Tune in right now and catch the show. We're going live. So, now, to all my viewers out there, yeah, we getting them in here. To all my viewers out there, this is how you break down the fraud Lbgt community. Okay? This community that you see right now that's on the screen, this man right here, with the I'm serious gay face, with the you better respect my gay serious face, right? You better respect it. You better not play with me. You better respect that shit. You see his face right now? I'm so serious. This face right here, this guy right here. You can go to I want you to be able to get the source of this. So you can go to a logo. And this is on this source here is logo, and you can go into YouTube, type this in, and you can find this right now on YouTube. What's good, brother? Everybody, we are live right now on YouTube, the New Right Party channel, and you're missing the show. This show is incredible. I just want to tell you that you guys are gonna want to tune in for this. It's the New Right Party on YouTube. Nothing is wrong with gay people, but we're breaking down the fraudulent Lbgt community. You got to tune into the show. If you want to see it, you got to tune in. We live right now. Go on YouTube, The New Right Party. Okay, so now that we off of Instagram right now and we are live, We're gonna get this show going. This is how a fraudulent community looks. After an Asian reporter who has come out as being gay, and all for him, he was attacked. Coming out saying what groups he represent. If there are anything that you want to name groups in this country, I think that it's unfair. We've come to a point where people are really being so selfish that they would put their discomforts into groups and categorize these people in groups. So somehow we forget that there are people who may not be in your group who are also dealing with the same thing. It doesn't matter if you are in the Lbgt community. No one should be struck in the head for trying to report on anything. No one should find themselves being attacked because they're there reporting on the things they may feel other people may find to be important. So this shouldn't be about the fact that he's gay, but I have to do this because when a fraudulent dude named Jesse Smollett, who allegedly faked his own hate crime and is currently rearrested or recharged for these crimes, and or will be, let me say, or could be. When you have this situation occur, you think, oh my God, they attacked him. Who attacked him? He said white guys attacked him? White guys? He said white guys in Chicago attacked him. Well, damn, that's hard to believe because the data shows in Chicago, if you're black and you're attacked, there's a 90% chance that person will be another black person. So I thought about it and I said, damn, he was attacked by white people wearing Trump hats? Oh, this is someone trying to set up, this is someone trying to set up the Trump movement. Shit, in my mind at first, I thought, it could be possible that this man was attacked, right? But maybe it was Antifa. Maybe Antifa was the people responsible for attacking him. Maybe it came from Antifa and they were trying to possibly frame some Proud Boys. At first I didn't just outright say this isn't right. It's a lie. I said, okay, well, if it did happen, then I'm sure it was some Antifa people probably trying to set up some Trump supporters. This was my take on it. This is my honest take on it. This is what I initially thought. But I said, let me wait because if you check during around that time, there was no shows where I came out and clearly just said it's a lie. He's lying. I did no such reporting. I waited for evidence to come out to show what it was. Now, 2019, an Asian brother who was a part of the Lbgt community was viciously attacked. I mean, he had to go to the hospital. He had bleeding in the skull from this attack. So this was serious. The man could have lost his life. Imagine if, somebody like me, right? I get into a scuffle and I've had my head banged on concrete. I've been in some vicious brawls. And I never went to the hospital after to check for concussion, to check to see if I had any bleeding. You sleep it off, you go through the next day. That's the kind of guy I am. You pull your own teeth kind of guy. Now, imagine if he was that kind of guy and he looked at his cuts and bruises and said, I can live through this. I'll be okay. I'll be all right. Imagine if he had that disposition. He would have had bleeding in his brain and it could have been even worse. Shout out to Shannon in the building, Shannon from the New Right Party, Hey Boo. He could have had bleeding in the brain and it could have been much worse, but him not going to go see a doctor and having that issue taken care of. He could have died. He could have literally died. He could have allowed this, somebody like me, and many people from the inner city or low income neighborhoods, when you fought, you've had tons of fights. You don't go to the doctor after. And I'm sure a lot of us should have went to the doctor after we had altercations because we could have been walking around with some serious damage done. And by the grace of God, we're still here. What if that would have been this dude, Andy, I believe is his name. What if that would have been him? Just imagine you're having headaches for days and days and days and days. Lo and behold, you have bleeding in your brain, and now it may be too late. You're gonna die. That's just clearly crazy. So when Jussie Smollett came out and said that he was attacked, allegedly, in my opinion, now I do believe it to be a total farce. I believe that he lied about everything. The evidence shows that he lied about everything, and may God be with him, because I'm in no position to currently, even though this is Tony X doing this, I'm still growing as an individual. So in a lot of other cases where I would have wished him prison time, or for him to be really beaten up so he knows what it feels like by two big white dudes wearing a MAGA hat. So after they're done, perfectly some linebackers, some real big ass Brock Lesnar badass motherfuckers like that, just whoop his ass. This is fucking MAGA country. Like right after, the old me would have suggested that, would have made reference to it, would have laughed about it while smoking on marijuana. Currently, the new gentleman in front of you, although the same, still using vulgar language, I find myself to be more connected with Christ, and in that feeling of inner peace that I currently find myself obtaining, just with myself, with everything. I'm going to say that if those things would have happened, or if they do happen, if that's a punishment, I wouldn't be mad at it. But I think that when someone seeks that kind of attention and goes that far, it's either because some grand person put him up to it, which is a possibility and could be, or it's that this person is really, really calling out for attention. Doesn't get much easier than that. Then they're calling out for attention. He's already an actor, known the world over. There are certain places in the globe I'm sure they wouldn't know who he is. A lot of people don't watch a gay show or a homosexual based show around the world. There are people who just won't watch it, and I get that. But he's done acting prior to this as well. So he's still a relatively known individual. Paparazzi follows him. So he's known. He's well known. So to be that known and crave more attention, or to crave to be a victim, it's sad when you want to be a victim. It paints a very poor personality and character in a person to want to be portrayed a victim. Not because what he tried to do was turn it to somehow he was Tupac, or he was a warrior after the fact. But consequently, you still got jumped by two dudes, and they poured bleach on you and put a noose on your neck. They had to shoot Tupac 5 times, and then after that, they had to shoot him and kill him again. No one is trying to shoot at Jussie Smollett. So by him even putting himself in the same breath as Tupac Shakur, it was just displeasing. But the Lbgt came out for him when he was attacked. And let's get to that right now.
Jussie Smollett was the victim of a racially motivated and homophobic attack. His assailants poured bleach on him and tied a rope around his neck and yelled
Thank you.
at the country as they ran away.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you.
Rhetoric of the Trump administration.
We, as members of the Black and queer communities, could not quietly stand by as our own became just the latest Black body to be terrorized in this country. Just the latest queer...
Let me just bring that back real quick, because I need you to hear this.
On Tuesday, January 29th, actor and singer Jussie...
On Tuesday, January 29th, actor and singer... Look at the disposition of this brother right here, please.
On Tuesday, January 29th, actor and singer Jussie Smollett was the victim of a racially motivated and homophobic attack. His assailants...
So what do we call these people? Do we call them attention seekers as well? Do we call these people right here frauds? Do we call them out and say that they're people who are looking for views online, for attention, to further fight for a cause that really truly makes no sense, when the cause that you fight should be against anyone being treated unfairly. Doesn't matter if it's physical, if it's verbal, emotional. I mean, shouldn't we be advocating for everyone's own special right and not clumping people into groups that somehow means that your group is could be better than mine because there are people here that you may feel are offended more so than others? Do you not realize that not only have the American people accepted that it's 2% of the population is gay men, 2%, just 2%, okay? Do you not realize that the country has done you a great service? We allow you to have parades that promotes your sexuality. Hear me out, okay? I need you to hear me out. There is no other culture on this planet that deals with any kind of sexual freedoms that's allowed to have a parade, I believe, in every major state in this country. There is no swingers parade. There are people who live a swingers lifestyle. And you can tell me that it's different, but it's not different. Your sexual preference is your sexual preference. Okay, whether or not you choose to dress a certain way, that's clearly on you because that's fashion. A kilt would be considered a dress, but to Irishmen is considered a kilt. So, with all due respect, whatever or however you choose to come outside dressed, that's on you. That's a fashion statement. Okay, the clothes in particular that you choose to wear, you are using these clothes right now. The majority of us, we're using these clothes to give off a fashion statement, to give off energy on our personalities, what we think about ourselves. This is why females color their hair. This is why, dudes wear turtlenecks with blazers and jeans. This is why dudes just wear peach turtlenecks. This is the reason why men would rather see themselves in makeup with wigs on and what you would consider to be a dress. And, they consider themselves feminine. If they do, then that's what they believe. But this still doesn't change the fact that we are celebrating your sexuality. You go to airports, there's your sign there, your flag there. Okay. You go to Target, there's a whole section that caters to you, gives the flag on children clothing. There is no swingers parade for swingers who live that lifestyle, who like to dress like swingers. What do swingers dress like? They could possibly wear nothing. Could be a bunch of them on new beaches. They could walk around wearing tight stuff or anything they want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because you can wear anything you want. No one is celebrating their sexuality. The fact that they like to fornicate with other people who are in relationships or who are married. No one gives them a parade. Is it that your group is somehow more special than them? You don't think that they're attacked? You don't think that society looks down on them? I'm sure society looks down worse on them than they do you. At this point, I'm sure of it. I haven't heard any physical assaults, but when I mean looks down, I mean they look down. Like there are churches that would allow you to come there and be with your same-sex partner and you would receive no backlash from it. But let a group of swingers go to a church and they try to have a bunch of swingers, known swingers, they're going to look at them like they're crazy. Like, you guys are crazy. But we celebrate your sexuality. Okay, so you guys have come farther than, and in my opinion, you've come a lot farther than the actual civil rights movement for blacks in this country. What did blacks get from the civil rights movement besides a known racist, Lyndon Baines Johnson, doing the Civil Rights Act? There was some peace, but then there was still legislation put in place by liberals to further destroy the black community. We're talking about mass incarceration, their war on drugs, how it became apparent that the government was pushing drugs here into the country, and then later on arresting a ton of black dudes that they were selling the drugs to, who end up selling the drugs. Let me get into this. This will be 6 minutes of your time.
Poured bleach on him and tied a rope around his neck and yelled MAGA country.
Actor and singer Jussie Smollett was the victim of a racially motivated and homophobic attack.
His assailants poured bleach on him and tied a rope around his neck and yelled MAGA country as they ran away, invoking the discriminatory.
You know, I'm a dude who I've been in some scuffles. You know, looking at this dude talking, I was just talking, look at him talk. You would see he got some size on him, man. You would think, man, this is going to be a rough fight, man. But then as soon as you hear him open his mouth and talk like that, you're going to be like, man, he ain't going to whoop me.
Rhetoric of the Trump administration.
We as members of the Black and queer communities could not quietly stand by as our own became just the latest black body to be terrorized in this country.
He said that in his community, because I want to get back to what he said. Because what did he say, right? What did he say? Let's get back to what he said.
As they ran away, invoking the discriminatory rhetoric of the Trump administration.
We as members of the Black and queer communities.
Black and queer communities. So what he did was he put both these communities together to make this even worse. But he acknowledged that there is a queer community. So now I'm asking the black queer community, the queer community, where the hell are you now when an Asian member of your community has been viciously attacked? I'm going to let these guys finish.
Did not quietly stand by as our own became just the latest black body to be terrorized in this country. Just the latest queer person to have the right to simply exist undermined.
We stand together with Jussie Smollett and everyone victimized, brutalized, or worse under this administration. And today we are here.
So wait, under this administration, Antifa is fucking up everybody. Black Lives Matter. You can go check if you don't believe me. You can go in there and check. Antifa attacks Black Lives Matter. I can pull it up real quick. I don't have to show it to you, but I've showed it on this show before. But I'll pull it up and I'll show you right now. I mean, Antifa is fucking up everybody, right? They're just putting their hands on anyone. They're getting fucked up too. Don't get me wrong. They're getting that ass whipped too, right? But they're attacking everybody. They attack everybody. So you can type this in, and you can find the Antifa attacking Black Lives Matter. Here it is right here. They try to hide it down. This is 1 year ago. This got 160,000 views. Over 106,000 views. This is where Antifa attacks Black Lives Matter. No regard whatsoever for anything or anybody. So I'm going to ask again. The black community, where are you? The black queer community, the queer community, where are you right now when a person of color, because now, this is what you guys have done. This is what you've done. This is what you've done. You've made every person on this planet a colored person. White people are colored too. Last I checked, white was a color. White was a color. I'm going to get into that at the end of this show. We're going to make some sense of this shit before we get you out of here. Today's show will be an hour show. Okay? This Asian brother is a person of color. By your standards, everyone on this planet is a person of color. Fuck that.
Here to discuss where we've been, where we're at, and where we are going in confronting America's legacy of hate.
We're not going to get into where you're at and where you've been and all of that because that's just something we don't want to know. But I will allow you and afford you a few more minutes so I can just break down how fucking... I don't want to... You know what? How incredibly fake you guys are. This group right here, especially. I don't have to call on the whole Lbgt movement, or because I'm sure that there are people outside who was saying something against this, who was against this, and I'm sure that there were people from within the community who probably said something about it, but just didn't get the notoriety that these people got. Because these people must be somebody for them to have this here and have and because I'm sure this was somewhere else. I'm sure this was on a bigger platform. So my whole thing is for them to be here. Why aren't they talking about Andy?
What was your initial reaction when you heard the news of Jesse's attack?
To me, it just felt like another one of those things that I felt helpless against. And in that moment, I didn't know anything to do but to call my friends and really...
Well, son, if you feel helpless, take your ass to the gym, lift some weights, man, get into boxing class, learn how to defend yourself. This is America.
Allow them to rally around me and allow myself to rally around them. Because I felt like that's what we needed in that moment.
Yeah, my stomach just kind of dropped. I actually was in the middle of writing a piece about a trans woman who was murdered a few weeks ago in Alabama.
And that's sad. That's sad. I wonder why there wasn't a show that was about that.
Named Dana Martin, and so I was working in one window on that, and then I saw, the Twitter timeline and saw Jesse's name, and I was like, there's this attack against really the community is ongoing.
I think it's shocking when you hear reports of a noose and bleach being used in 2019, right? And it just, you think about the history of lynching and racial terrorism in this country, and it's been...
It hits a chord.
Yeah,
it's like a major chord.
It takes you back. Like, why do we have to still go through this in this day and age? And have we gotten this low?
Well, currently we haven't gone through anything, and we haven't gone any lows at all because reportedly Jussie Smollett has lied. So I wonder, with the things that you guys said in this video, did you come back to create another video where you first corrected the statements that you made in this video, and you explained how wrong you guys were for pushing a narrative based on the contingency of something reported and not something found factual? No one at the time of this video was found guilty of attacking Jussie Smollett. Nobody.
As a country that no one is exempt, and that we don't respect black bodies.
I also think it's a comfort.
Jussie Smollett is hey, that's a light ass black dude, man. He's lighter than Prince. This dude couldn't buy a tan, man. A spray on tan, he glowed through the spray on tan. If he can get a spray on tan from somebody, then he probably would get it. He probably better off rubbing himself in wet coffee grinds, and hopefully that'll stick on him. But this dude is like really, really light, man. So now they said all of this. I just want to get to something real quick.
Comfortable feeling like we're moving forward, we're progressing, we're the years are rolling by. It's almost 2020, but
the years have run by, and at first you guys were getting beat up in the streets for being gay, even though a lot of you guys in the 70s were still gay and no one beat you up, but you was getting beat up. There was some cases, many cases of queer people being attacked for being queer. This goes back far, but there are periods in history where this was celebrated. And again, you're in a part of time where your way of life is being celebrated. So, I mean, you guys have come really, really far, but I gotta get to this before we get out of here.
I think with the noose detail, right, it's so important that Jussie has been able to even share details about what happened, right, so that we can be clear.
I just want to tell you that it's quite possible that this individual has a penis. All right? I don't know, because I don't know who or who the person is, but I'm just telling you that there could be the possibility that this person has a penis. Okay? No one is telling this person that could possibly have a penis, you can't wear that blouse or that blazer or that hair. there was a time where this would have been frowned upon. This person could have been harmed behind if it is a man, a biological man who identifies as a woman. If that's the case, right? There was a time period where they would have killed this person, man. J. Edgar Hoover was wearing dresses, and it could have destroyed his career as a law enforcement officer. It could have destroyed his career. So he hid it. He allowed himself to be blackmailed because of it. He got himself blackmailed, reportedly had himself blackmailed because of it. So we are at a time where the way you choose to live is highly tolerated, man. It is. In a country of over 300 million people. Am I correct? If that's is that the census? Let me just double check. I mean, I believe it's 320 million, but I could be wrong. Let me see. Let's see. 329 million people. So they say the population. We know at this point, though, there's a lot more people here. But 329 million. And with a population that big, I mean, shit, you would hear if this was something that was really not tolerated and celebrated, you would hear of someone killing a homosexual because they're gay every single day in this country. That's 329 million people here right now. By the census, by just checking the last checked census. We're sure that there's more now.
That this was a racial attack.
Got it.
And that this is all really an element of a moment.
329 million people and 60% of the population is Caucasian. If racism truly was a real issue and blacks only making up 12% now of the population, you would hear blacks getting their ass whipped every single day. Every day. But they make these two things an issue as if it's not something that's not consistently happening.
Where we have a presidential administration who is inciting this violence against marginalized people. And so this is completely tied to Charlottesville. It's completely tied to what happened in Charleston, right?
They tied to Charlottesville. They tied to everything that they can. And the shit never even happens.
Exactly.
And abused, right? That we never even hear about. Yeah. And so you saw the outpouring. I think it was like a collective outpouring.
Yeah. For us and for our sisters, it's it's ridiculous. Yeah. It's crazy.
There were 22 trans women?
More
than 22?
At least 29.
I mean, there's like a number and there's a calculated count.
And most of them were
women of girls, who are just, that don't even get counted.
Right, I was going to say the unreported.
We can't even count like all the girls who are being killed.
Yeah, and what's important about Jesse is that we can connect a humanity to him
story.
And a story. He's in people's
homes
every day.
Yeah, he's in homes every day. So I wonder if you guys decided to, I meant no pun by you guys, I was just saying you guys. But if you guys decide to do a video apologizing for this video, I would have to say, well, damn, I got to offer them an apology too for calling them fake. But as it stands, you guys are fake as hell to me. And not the Lbgt community, but just these people here talking right now that's supposed to be representing your community. And for those who are in the Lbgt community that has done nothing, you've done nothing, you've said nothing. There are no Twitter takedowns of Antifa. In fact, Antifa still exists on Twitter.
Yeah. But when we talk about the other attacks that happened, particularly to Black trans women, Justy being so, as outspoken as he can.
It's important for us to come together through things like this. This is like, we're
Here we go.
used to this.
That's why I want to end
I think
this.
as marginalized people, we're used to being mistreated and always, seen like on the bottom of the barrels. I feel like this is where we do get our strength from.
Yeah.
Like, you know, all throughout our history, we got strength from being put down. Like, so.
It's time to mobilize. Yeah. And I think that is...
You get strength for being put down. They beat the hell out of this Asian kid. And you guys, your community was absolutely nowhere to be found. I mean, nowhere to be found. They beat the shit out of this kid, man. God dang it. They listen, man. They beat this kid's ass, man. And they did this like, hold on.
Two new stunning developments tonight in the case of that conservative journalist attacked by...
They poured something that looked like dried semen on this gentleman. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just, for you guys who's ever used a sock, misused the sock, and then saw it a couple days later, you know what I'm talking about.
By a violent Antifa mob of domestic terrorists in Portland, Oregon. His attorney now says she will sue...
Or a bunch of bird shit. Like someone took a bucket of bird shit and just poured it all on them. Like, bird shit all over your body.
Everybody in sight in order to hold city officials there accountable. She's going to try to sue everybody involved. That journalist, Andy No, described in harrowing detail how that unprovoked and ultra-violent attack unfolded. Watch.
They were chanting no fear, no hate, and then suddenly I was bashed in the back of the head. And before I could really figure out what just happened to me, the punches just kept coming in every direction. And then eventually...
His face is still swollen. Look at the left cheek. Look at his cheek. Look at his face where his eye is. That whole side of his face is swollen, people. The whole left side is swollen on his face, man. This is really bad, man.
He escalated it to throwing liquids in my face that blinded me, so I couldn't even see which way to leave. And I could still see the Justice Center in the background, and I kept thinking the police were going to come and help me at any moment, but that never happened.
That's the most...
Okay, the police...
Now, this is supposed to be a group of people who are against fascism, but they are beating people up for no fucking reason. They're whooping people's ass for no reason because they're afraid by themselves without those masks. Because when you put a bunch of cowards together, what will a bunch of cowards do? They will always try to oppress people that they deem as a threat all on their own. This is the truth. You'll often find that people in your school, when you were in school, you see them by themselves, they wouldn't say anything. You know, but when they're with a bunch of people, then they have a lot to say. Then they'll have a lot to say. Some of you have dealt with some people who are, they could be a CO in a prison, they could be a cop, they could be a doctor, someone with some form of authority. You could have seen them very passive when they're by themselves, but then when you see them around other people, you can see that their personality changing. They're a bit more aggressive than they normally would be. Some people go for authority just so they can do this to people, so they can have power over people. When you put a bunch of cowards together who are at home, sleeping in their mom's basement, you know, staying, you know, on their mom's health insurance, and they're not paying any real bills or being held accountable in real life, they're gonna go outside and do whatever they want to do when there's a group of them that's allowed to mask up. Here's what I want to show you. The left, biggest hypocrites in the whole entire planet. You go to follow Antifa right now on Twitter, and of course, Andy No is still trending. He's still on Twitter. He's still trending. Right after you see him, though, because of this attack, you see Antifa checker. This account follows legitimate Antifa accounts and block obvious fake troll accounts. DM or submit anonymously. Here is an Antifa flag on Twitter right now. This domestic terrorist group has a Twitter. Can you please tell me if they would allow a.k.a. to have a Twitter account? Would they allow a.k.a. to have a Twitter account? They called the Proud Boys a domestic terror group, and they removed their Twitter. To the point where the G Mafia, that's the gay mafia, picked it up. Proud Boys USA, proclaiming our name. The Proud Boys are a queer, pangender, multicultural organization who will not apologize for our space in the modern world. The G Mafia has taken the Proud Boys name, put two roosters kissing each other, and put the gay flag behind it. If that isn't the destruction of a masculine organization, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. I truly do not know what is. Twitter has removed the Proud Boys platform. They've removed it. They've taken it away. And now the Proud Boys is a group of kissing roosters. Two cocks. Get it? I got it. I got it. When I said this is what I got it when I saw it. It's two cocks. What do you call a rooster? A cock. That's what you call a cock. They got two cocks facing each other. That's their logo. Completely removed the Proud Boys. But Antifa, always anti-fascist. Email, fight them back at riseup.net. Voicemail. They have an Instagram up here. They got a damn Instagram up here as well for Antifa. But a Proud Boy, an original Proud Boy, got 40 weeks in jail for a Republican club brawl. That's what's on top, and that's what's trending over the fact that Andy No was severely beaten, receiving great damage done to his face, his jaw, his whole, look at it, it's all swollen. Well, he had swelling in the brain. The guy has swelling in the brain. Antifa still exists. No one is taking apart Antifa. So, to you guys inside of the Lbgt movement and commitment, you guys are going to have to decide what is it you're going to be. Are you going to be real with us? Are you going to be real with yourselves? Or are you going to be used for fame and fortune? So in the end, none of our rights will stand and they'll take away everything from everybody and you're stepped on to. Let's get into a bit of sham. Little sham.
Piece of in-depth reporting by the Miami Herald has revealed shocking new details about a 2008 plea.
So let's get into this plea agreement of Jeffrey Epstein. Let's get into this. And then I'll give you some good news.
A fantastic piece of in-depth reporting by the Miami Herald has revealed shocking new details about a 2008 plea deal that Alexander Acosta, then U.S. Attorney in Miami, offered billionaire hedge fund manager and serial sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein was a money manager for the wealthiest elites in the country. He owned 2 private jets, the largest single residence in Manhattan, an island in the Caribbean, a ranch in New Mexico, and a waterfront estate in Florida. His friends include people like Donald Trump, Bill Clinton, and Britain's Duke of York, Prince Andrew.
I have to tell you that Donald Trump is not friends with Jeffrey Epstein. He hasn't talked to Jeffrey Epstein in a decade. The pictures that you see with Donald Trump and this child pedophile, Donald Trump had brown hair. When is the last time you've seen Donald Trump with brown hair? He was young. Donald Trump was well in his mid-40s, I believe, when he actually met Epstein. And I can assure you that he removed Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. He was not allowed to be in that club. He heard some very inappropriate things about him, and he disassociated himself with that individual that fast. So he's not friends with Donald Trump, and I don't like the fact that, and I love this brother's show right here, but I don't like the fact that that he would even put Donald Trump up there and call him a friend to Epstein.
True. But behind the scenes, Epstein was running a horrific pyramid-like underage sex scheme, offering $200 to impoverished and troubled 14 to 17-year-old girls to come to his home and give him massages. Once they got there, he offered more money for increasingly vile and exploitative sexual acts, and also paid them to recruit other young girls. An FBI investigation revealed what the Herald calls a sprawling network of victims and an abundance of physical evidence and witness testimony, including notepads seized from Epstein's home with some of the girls' names and phone numbers. The FBI had enough material to produce a 50-page indictment with federal sex crime charges that could have put Epstein in prison for life. So, what was his sentence? Unbelievably, this evil pedophile monster served just 13 months in a county jail for his crimes. And it gets worse. In those pathetic 13 months, Epstein's so-called cell was a private space in a vacant wing of the jail. And he was allowed out to work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week in his fancy office, despite the county sheriff's department rules explicitly forbidding sex offenders from qualifying for work release. Then, after his sentence, Epstein reportedly traveled extensively, even receiving permission to visit his private Caribbean island, an exceptional privilege for a felon on probation. So, how did Epstein get away with all this? That's where Alexander Acosta comes in. As the local US attorney, it was his job to prosecute the case, but Epstein had a powerful list of lawyers on his side, including Harvard professor Alan Dershowitz, former Whitewater independent counsel Kenneth Starr, and Jay Lefkowitz, who just happened to be Acosta's former co-worker at the well-known Washington law firm Kirkland & Ellis. So, Lefkowitz scheduled a meeting with his old colleague Acosta to discuss Epstein's case. They reportedly met for breakfast at the Marriott Hotel in West Palm Beach. As a result of that meeting, Lefkowitz walked away with an extraordinary plea deal that not only led to Epstein's outrageous 13-month jail sentence, but also included a non-prosecution agreement that effectively shut down an ongoing FBI probe into whether there were more victims of Epstein's depravity. The deal required Epstein to plead guilty to just 2 prostitution charges in state court. Beyond vastly understating his crimes, those charges are blatantly ridiculous given that his crimes were against minors who by law can't consent to sex and thus can't be prostitutes. Epstein was required to register as a sex offender and pay restitution to the 36 victims identified by the FBI, but in exchange, he and 4 of his accomplices, whose identities are still hidden, received immunity from all federal criminal charges. And as part of the arrangement, Acosta agreed that the deal would be kept secret from the victims, who were calling for justice against Epstein. The Herald's investigation also found that Acosta and his team actually helped keep the case quiet. One email from Acosta's fellow prosecutor, Marie Villafana, to Epstein's lawyer read, quote, "On an avoid the press note, I can file the charge in district court in Miami, which will hopefully cut the press coverage significantly. Do you want to check that out?" What? It is absolutely shameful that Acosta and his team bent over backwards, not just to reduce Epstein's sentence to practically nothing, but to hush the whole thing up. Have you ever seen a more sickening example of the elite looking after its own? Quite rightly, a number of lawmakers are now calling for an investigation into all this by the Justice Department Inspector General. The Labour Secretary himself has refused to comment, but back in 2011 he did write a "to whom it may concern" letter in response to outrage over the deal. In it he says, "Our judgment in this case, based on the evidence known at the time, was that it was better to have a billionaire serve time in jail, register as a sex offender and pay his victims restitution than risk a trial with a reduced likelihood of success." See what he did there? He's basically saying, guys, this is a billionaire we're talking about. You're lucky he got any punishment at all. What an outrage. He's admitting that there's one law for the rich and one for everyone else. That's not good enough, Alexander Acosta. You helped cover up a billionaire's pedophile sex crimes on an epic scale. Now you're in President Trump's cabinet. And I think you owe all of us an explanation and an apology. And if you can't do that, it's time for you to go. Tell us what you think of this story at Steve Hilton X and at NextRev FNC.
Hold on, y'all. We're not done.
To campaign on and to run on, because the economy is working well so far, at least on paper, because the administration can tout job creation, at least on paper. It does raise the question about if voters feel okay about the economy.
What is my point here today is we have an amazing economy, and the focus needs to be on the economy and job creation, which is what.
No, that's not what I'm looking for. It's not what I'm looking for. Let's just get into just a little bit of this real quick.
Admissible evidence will be sufficient to support conviction beyond a reasonable doubt, and the decision to charge is in the interest of justice. Did you believe, sir, that the evidence against Epstein would have been sufficient to secure convictions beyond a reasonable doubt for the federal offenses listed in the non-prosecution agreement? And if so, why was it not in the interest of justice to charge him with these crimes?
So again, I would refer you to the documents I've provided. There is a big gulf between sufficient evidence to go to trial and sufficient evidence to be confident in the outcome of that trial.
So this is the BS excuse he gave, and Trump walked him out to the front. Trump walked him out to the front yard to give him the boot.
Great labor secretary, not a good labor secretary. He's done a fantastic job. He's a friend of everybody in the administration, and I got a call this morning early from Alec, and I think he did a very good job yesterday. Under a lot of pressure, he did a fantastic job, and he explained it. And he made a deal that people were happy with, and then 12 years later, they're not happy with it. You'll have to figure all of that out, but the fact is, he has been a fantastic Secretary of Labor, and Alex called me this morning and he wanted to see me, and I actually said, well, we have the press right out here, so perhaps you just want to say it to the press. But I just want to let you know, this was him, not me, because I'm with him. He's a tremendous talent. He's a Hispanic man. He went to Harvard, a great student. And in so many ways, I just hate what he's saying now because we're going to miss him. But please, Alex.
Thank you, Mr. President. Over the last week, I've seen a lot of coverage of the Department of Labor. And what I have not seen is the incredible job creation that we've seen in this economy. More than 5 million jobs. I haven't seen that workplace injuries are down.
Okay, so this was the boot that he got. To get out of the White House. Because something's wrong with this case. 13 months, 12-hour days out in your office, having sex with women, instead of being locked up, you just go there and sleep at night. Shit, he might as well have been Pablo Escobar and built his own damn prison. He had a whole private wing by himself. Had a whole wing by itself. Epstein had a whole wing by itself. Spent 12-hour days drinking champagne, having a good cigar in the morning with orange juice. You can't. But the good news is, he's done. That's the president looking at him right now. Like, say what you're supposed to say, so you can exit stage left. Gotta respect it. Last but not least.
The historical purge that we're witnessing all over the country is part of a larger agenda to destroy what it means to be American. And it's getting more audacious by the day. In St. Louis Park, Minnesota, the geniuses on the city council there recently decided to ban the Pledge of Allegiance.
The only problem with this is why aren't you just calling this what it is and saying this is an attempted takeover of the United States of America? Why not come out and just say what it is? This is an attempted takeover of the United States of America. Stop crying and complaining about it. Tell people what it really is. And let's talk about how to stop it.
From town meetings. Their reason? To create a more welcoming environment to a diverse community. Well, welcoming to everybody but Americans who actually love the pledge. Well, residents were rightly outraged by this insanity, and local patriots turned out, and they stood up to the city council. And then in San Francisco, the public defecation capital of the world, taxpayers are going to shell out $600,000 to paint over a George Washington mural that offended a few snowflakes there. So let me just get this straight. People peeing in the fountains and stepping on dirty needles, that's not offensive? But the first founding father is? Perfect. So why would anyone, after hearing these kinds of stories, be surprised when someone like leftist soccer star Megan Rapinoe, who knelt during the national anthem back in 2016, still refuses to respect it today? Or when midfielder Allie Long drags the American flag on the ground while representing the U.S. on the world stage, and while mugging for the cameras, then drops the flag like it's a piece of trash. Thankfully, another midfielder.
So it's not all of the women. It's these three jackasses. So I'm going to say the things that you can't say that you want to say. It's these three jackasses looking for fame. Why is it so easy right now to become famous by disrespecting the flag? Why? Why is it the thing to do? I don't know. Communists could be trying to take over our country and do it from within. Absolutely right. That sounds about right. Before I get out of here, I want to tell you, R. Kelly was arrested on child sex trafficking charges and sex trafficking charges. And I want to tell you, R. Kelly's a piece of shit. They knew that man was doing that shit back in the 90s and ain't nobody care about it. People were actually dropping their fucking daughters off at that man's house. He was already arrested, already out on bail for the same fucking charges in Chicago. The FBI stepping in now to arrest him is a way for the media to distract you from Jeff Epstein. Don't lose focus. You can walk and chew bubblegum. So don't allow these people to think that they're going to get away with throwing R. Kelly out there so we can forget about Jeffrey. We won't forget about Jeff. We will never forget about Jeff. And you arresting R. Kelly as a distraction won't work because he was already arrested and in jail. You see the headlines when he was arrested in jail? It didn't really bite. They made memes and joked about it and that shit died that fast. It's done. This Jeff Epstein thing, though, is going to rot you for a while. Because there was too many people hopping on those private planes going to those islands. And the Virgin Islands at that. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Stay American. And remember, Fuck the other side, bitch. We don't care.